Hey everyone, and welcome to a new series that I'm gonna be starting on my channel called Let's Play Vainglory with God of War. So, in today's episode, we're actually gonna be playing Reza, Crystal Reza. I actually have a guide on this hero. If you would like to actually learn how to play this hero, you can actually check out my video on my channel that actually teach you this exact Reza build and playstyle. As you can probably tell already, this is actually post commentary, and the game is actually played already, so I can actually explain to you guys what's happening in advance. So this game is actually versus I'm actually up against a professional team in Southeast Asia called Newbies, and we are gonna be playing my Crystal Reza in the mid lane here, even though Reza is often played in the jungle or the top lane, but I strongly believe that Crystal Reza could work and actually is super strong in the mid lane. I'll explain more about why it is so strong later on, or as you can see the gameplay later. Crystal Reza actually wrecks faces, actually. When played in the mid lane, doesn't really matter which lane it goes. In fact, actually, playing it in the mid lane might even be better because Reza is typically not a front line, and the top lane of the meta right now is usually a tanky top laner that can be in the face of the enemies, and Reza simply can't do that. You're not tanky enough. You're more of a burst assassin rather than a front line like a Rona diver, such heroes like that. As you can see, the trade here, which I actually traded with Vox, I actually have my Aftershock and the Crystal Buff, along with an enemy battery to keep my mana, and a Book of Elegies to keep me sustained up in lane. So, this whole sustain poke combo will allow me to basically out lane the enemy Vox here, who is a Crystal Vox. Even if he is a weapon Vox, the same outcome would have happened. He would have just got outpoked by me because Reza can just go in and out and do a huge burst of damage when he does. So I actually shopped and got up a heavy prism and started building towards my second core item, which is the Dragon's Eye. So what this does is basically allows me to have a little more crystal power before my Dragon's Eye, and once I get my Dragon's Eye, I would like to use that spike along with the crystal infusion and crystal buff to actually do an insane amount of chunk onto the enemy super easily. As you can see, I actually got my overdrive already for my A ability. I see a lot of Reza players actually go for the overdrive on the B ability, but that's simply not the right way to play Reza, in my opinion. So as you can see, Finn actually rotated up, not expecting me to do much damage, but because I had my aftershock already, I was able to chunk him down really quickly on top of having my overdrive on my A. I was able to dive Vox here, hit him with a troublemaker before finishing off with my A ability. Um, yeah, so after killing both Finn and Vox here, the turret was free pushing, however I was pretty low. So Koshka came along and he kinda helped me. He almost got sniped by Celeste's global ultimate. We managed to get a first turret at 8 minutes 48 seconds into the game, and I decided to stay back and actually go home to get back my health. So the next item, as I said, I was building towards is actually Dragon's Eye, and thus my overdrive on my A is actually quite important because the increased range on my A ability will allow me to stack my Dragon's Eye stack from a distance before the fight even begins, such that when a fight begins I actually have already a huge advantage over the enemies because of my Dragon's Eye stacks. So another thing about Reza when played in any lane is actually super level intensive, as I said, because you really need your level 8, you really need to be like ahead in terms of level of your opponents, such that you can actually burst them down even quicker and not have their base armor and shield actually stacking up and preventing your burst. So in this fight here, actually we see Koshka going for Vox. I actually left him alone, knowing that a Crystal Vox will just keep reflecting those resonance bounces off Koshka and eventually kill me if I do continue chasing there. I went back to clear my mid lane and went to check if their Crystal buff was up. So it wasn't, and I actually went to shop, and if I'm right, I'm actually gonna be picking up. Yes, I'm gonna be picking up my Dragon's Eye here. Now, picking up this red Dragon's Eye basically put me at an item spike in which I am able to do a lot of damage at this point of time for this short amount of time, I should say. After getting the Dragon's Eye, I actually decided to get the Crystal buff, as I said earlier. Pairing it up with a Crystal buff or a Crystal infusion will actually further increase the spike of this, and I'm gonna be explaining more spike in a future Vainglory Academy Quarter 4 Academy video actually. And I actually camped in the shop here until I was able to pick up a crystal infusion, paired up with a crystal buff and my dragon's eye. I was able to just continue kiting backwards, throwing my A to stack more dragon's eye stacks. At this point of time, I was already at a very high stack, which is 9 dragon's eye stack. And because typically Reza don't build Dragon's Eye as a second item, most people wouldn't expect your damage, and even if they do, they can't really stop you from doing the damage because your range on your A is actually insane once you get an overdrive, and you are able to stack your Dragon's Eye no matter what kind of opponents they are. Even if they have huge CC, you won't even be in range of their CC for you to not be able to stack your Dragon's Eye stacks. So as you saw just now, Alpha really didn't expect the amount of damage I could put out with my combo, which is basically throwing my A and just using my aftershock proc along with proccing the fire starter. And because all of this actually scale with crystal, in which I was stacking up my dragon's eye to 8 to 9 stacks, that's a lot of crystal power. I was able to take him down surprisingly fast, and he didn't expect that. As you can see, the amount of damage I can put out simply with these two items, crystal infusion and a crystal buff, is actually insane. I could get Vox from full health to 3/4 health in like half a second. I was able to also pick up Cav here and continue pushing the lane because I knew that Vox was low. I had to recall. I was able to take the second turret down the mid lane here at only 12 minutes in, and that actually shows that we are actually really ahead in this game already. As Vox came out from base, he just came out, he popped his flask already with the fight just started. However, I was still able to melt him super strong here using my ulti to do damage to him at the same time. I'll survive a bit longer. I almost was able to land my E there to take him down, however, he was forced to back like the second time in only a short 20 seconds or so. Cav came along thinking that he could probably get me because I was low, but I had my troublemaker, and because this build that I'm going involves a lot of cooldown and also overdriving my troublemaker, it's basically gonna make me be able to dash super frequently and use it as my main source of mobility. Actually, this build will actually involve no boots because I'm actually using the cooldown that the clockwork and aftershock provides as my mobility, and after you use a troublemaker you get a slight speed boost, and so you can actually use that to replace the boots, because the boots is, honestly, I've tried without without getting 4 or 5 crystal power items. Like I've seen players, professional or not, actually play Reza with 1 or 2 crystal items. Sure, you can do a bit of burst, but your burst is not enough for you to be played just like a mid laner that you have to output a lot of damage. So simply by saving 1 slot from your boots and actually turning it into a crystal item can actually impact you a lot, because for Reza you need your aftershock because that's your main source of damage. You're actually applying all the procs with your low cooldown abilities, and then you need your Dragon's Eye because everything of Reza scales with crystal power, and with a higher crystal power generally in a prolonged fight, and with by stacking your Dragon's Eye early on the fight, it will actually allow you to output a lot of damage. So as you can see, Vox actually wanted to take out mid turret here really badly. I went in immediately, got him down to 1/4 health in just one small combo. I was able to hit him and continue chunking him down. However, our mid turret does go down to the minions, but it doesn't really matter because this game we already got a lead that is quite hard to lose. So going back onto the build, basically by getting 1 extra crystal item on top of instead of a boots will actually put me in a spot where I can actually do a lot of crystal damage to the enemy, and it's not just for that 1 burst or 2 bursts that you can go in and out. At the same time, honestly, by trading out the boots, you're actually not really losing a lot of mobility. You can say that with the boots and the dashes you can be fast, but you just need the dashes for you to be why do you have to be so fast if you can do like no damage in fights compared to with 4 or 5 crystal items? So this fight over here was actually quite unfortunate here. Okay, let's just let the fight play out. As you can see, I actually used my troublemaker to dodge out all the abilities and then going back in. As you can see, my cooldown is so low I can just keep going in and out. I popped my ulti there, almost got Vox down. 1 ulti almost half health him. However, at this point of time I already had 18 Dragon's Eye stack. If I had not misclicked my flask and I popped it, I'm confident that I wouldn't have even died in this fight, because after killing Vox there, the only damage source would be from the 2 supports, and they are playing a dual support comp, so they would definitely not be able to kill me, and they would have all died if I had actually not misclicked my potion or healing flask there. So as you can see, Koshka right now is just keep continue stealing away the gold oak from the enemy jungle, and Celeste actually almost stole it with a healer Genesis had Koshka not leashed it a little further from the spot where the scout camps was. The enemy scout camp was basically there. So after respawning, I actually went ahead um, to the gold tree, and of course to get more gold for myself, because after all I'm a mid laner and actually supposed to be the main carry, like the main crystal carry of the team. So I have to be outputting a lot of damage. For that I need items. For items I need gold. So you are supposed to maximize all your gold and levels as Crystal Reza if you want to play him in the mid lane. I was able to clear out this scout camp here for my lands. I was pushing out this lane here. As the enemy team overextended slightly, I was able to continuously throw my A ability to stack my Dragon's Eye stack. Watch how I actually stack my Dragon's Eye stack here. I actually stack up to already 5. I continued pushing forward. Celeste was not looking at the map. He immediately took a lot of damage. I was able to stack my Dragon's Eye to already 9 stacks. I was melting Alpha, chunking him 3/4 health in simply 1 auto attack. After that, yeah, we basically won this fight and continued to push on into their base. And if I'm right, this is already the second last fight as I continue pushing it into the base here. Yeah, our lead at this point of time has just got increased to about a 13k gold lead. So after pushing the mid lane, actually I went down to take the enemy crystal tree in here before going to the shop, wanting to pick up an infusion and also picking up my 4th crystal item, Broken Myth. Basically, I already had my Aftershock, 2nd item Dragon's Eye, 3rd item Clockwork, and 4th item Broken Myth in only 17 minutes. So I was 4 crystal items up. I had no defense or no boots at this point of time. Had 1 book of Elegies that I haven't sold from earlier. I was already starting to stack my Dragon's Eye stack before picking up my infusion. As I did pick up my infusion here, I already had about 4 Dragon's Eye stack here. I continued throwing my A from a safe distance, such as to stack my Broken Beef more carefully and not take any damage in the meantime. After stacking up my a few stacks of my Broken Myth, which is about 6 to 7 stacks, I was able to just chunk Kev here. I knew Vox was below, so after Troublemaker, I tried to hit him with an A. He was blocked by Alpha. I thought he would have died there. After that, Alpha came on me thinking that he could do something. Vox came back to help. He failed, and Alpha was only a few seconds from reboot when I hit him with the A and finished him off there. So it was pretty unfortunate for them. However, they did really overextend a lot, and thus we were able to take down the base turret here of the enemy team, also the armory, and started on the vein crystal. However, this was quite unfortunate as we couldn't end the game right here. However, the game wouldn't take much longer, but yeah, as you see the enemy team slowly spawning in, I was chasing Celeste away here, chunking him 3/4 health with 1 auto attack. So at this point of time, we couldn't end the game here. However, my team was actually already unleashing Black Claw, so the game would end shortly. As I backed off here, and leaving the whole of my team to actually die, because we knew that we would have all died if I continued to stay. Black Claw was already unleashed and marching down the mid lane here, so the game was technically already over. I actually turned back to try to kill Celestia. However, he actually turned on Black Claw and tried to take it down. But the game would end shortly here, and I just want to say that Crystal Reza actually works even in the professional even against professional teams, and it's not just as many are pretty skeptical about just a hero with a build that could work probably only in public queue against tier 4s or 3s, but I can definitely say that Crystal Reza actually works, and this build of mine actually works. So if you want to learn how to play Crystal Reza, you can actually watch my Quarter 4 Academy lesson. I think it was lesson 3 on Crystal Reza guide that basically teaches you how to play Crystal Reza to the point where you can actually 1v4 or 1v5 the enemies. Once again, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you truly did enjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode.